How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Down to Earth with Christian Harloff. This is our Monday through Friday daily UAP news story. We try to figure out what the hell's going on up there and who's reporting on it, who's talking about it. And yeah, we know that the major news outlets aren't covering, so we're trying to do what we can here. So you're brand new to the channel, you've never been here before. We're trying to get to 20,000. We're pretty close subscribers, so hit that button. Yesterday, we covered a story by Matt Laslo on Ask A Poll, which is Matt's doing great work over there. Matt goes around and he's in Washington, and he's the one that's asking a lot of these questions when a lot of journalists are kind of shying away from it. So Matt had an opportunity. He was asking, a lot of people have been covering this today, though. Senator Kelly was talking about UAPs over bases. And he says very likely to be foreign nationals doing surveillance. So kind of pushing this towards the drone theory. So this is a longer interview, what we got going on here. So I'm going to play a little bit of it. I'm going to play a lot of it so you can listen to the audio, and then we'll talk about it on the other side. Here it is.
Hey, how are you, sir? I was struck by your questioning the other day on the persistence of intrusion of U.S. airspace above sensitive military sites. Were you pleased with the response?
Like drones around bases?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How'd that get on your radar? Are you guys having those? Like I heard.
Well, we've had this problem in Arizona around Luke.
Yeah.
And on the Barry Goldwater Range. You know, it's one of the bigger restricted airspace.
Because Kane brought it up with Langley here, and
that's happened too recently.
And he was saying the rules of engagement in suburban areas would be different. It seems like, has that ever come up, the rules of engagement out there? Or do they not even know what they're looking at?
So often, first of all, we don't know who these drones belong to.
Yeah.
My suspicion is a lot of it's hobbyists.
Yeah.
But some of it is also very likely to be foreign nationals that are doing surveillance with low-cost systems that are somewhat expendable, and it's hard to track them.
How do you know they're
hard to take them down?
How do you know their drones are low cost? Like, have they retrieved some of those?
I think in some cases they have.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you could do a lot with a cheap drone. I mean, we see that in Ukraine every single day.
Yeah.
So we need to get our, get a better system in place.
Yeah.
And also deter people from flying around military bases.
Yeah.
So myself and Senator Grassley have legislation to do that. It's got multi-jurisdictions here.
Yeah.
And so we'd like to get that legislation passed, and that would provide penalties if you're found going into airspace above a military installation.
Yeah.
And that would deter some of it. It's probably not going to deter our adversaries, but at least then you could bring the numbers down, and you could more effectively and aggressively go after the remaining drone incursions.
Yeah. Have you seen any of the images? Have you in classified setting, or have you asked for it?
No, images of drones flying around bases.
Well, I mean, Gillibrand, she was just in Nevada and said she's going to fight in this year's NDAA for more sensors, because she says right now they don't even know what is above them.
Drones are pretty small, right? Yeah. And typically a U.S. installation, we've always benefited as a country from having, being on either side. We got a big ocean.
Yeah.
So we generally don't worry about being attacked domestically.
Yeah.
So our military bases are not not well defended.
Yeah.
They're not on the front line in any kind of way.
Yeah.
But now with these small drones with sophisticated detection systems, cameras, they can do a lot of surveillance. So.
Yeah. I'll leave you to my colleagues. Yeah. Thank you.
I mean, look, that's tricky all the way around. Like, is it possible that there's drones that other countries are flying in cheaper drones that they can't figure out what it is. I mean, I guess, but I mean, this is one of the technology and the things that we have. We don't know who it is. We don't know who's doing it. That's scary all in itself. If that's the case. And it's been happening for, 60, 70 years, and we still don't know what government has this kind of technology that they're able to do this. Now, this is a separate thing for recently the stuff with Langley and those other things, but like, it's a little easy to say. Everyone says other drones. There's some. I follow an Instagram account. It's UFO Secrecy. Is the account that I follow, and they post a lot of videos. And I'm in this place. This has nothing to do. I mean, I happen to really like their account. I just never know what's valid, what's real, what's done by good special effects, what's not. You know what I mean? Like there's ones that they've had, and they very well could post stuff that they've only not had any pushback for. But there's just the fact that there has been stuff. You look at the Tic Tac videos and these other ones that have been out there before, and even people don't know exactly what the jellyfish one was, whether or not. I don't think it was balloons, but people say balloons. But let's say it wasn't, and let's say it was a drone, right? That ain't a small drone. And he said most drones are small. That's not, I mean, okay, most drones are small. A lot of these things are not, especially a lot of these things that the pilots are seeing. So I'm not buying the drone stuff. That doesn't get it for me. I don't. Some of the stuff, like some of the ones that they filmed that go so like, and the military pilots who are saying how fast these things go. Drones don't go that fast, like zipping off and moving into, and I trust in the military pilots who said, yeah, they're moving at these weird angles that we don't have the technology that can do this with a drone. These are tons of different military. They've seen the USO stuff of how fast these things can go. The drone thing doesn't really match up to me, and it doesn't really, and especially the fact that they're calling for people that they want to have sensors to see because they don't know what it is. I think it's scarier to say it's drones because that means that we have different governments that are flying in drones over military bases and stuff, and that's like you can't detect their drones. Well, let's get their technology. Are we not? We don't have this type of tech. We haven't advanced to that. There's other governments that can fly drones undetected and get away with it in our airspace. That's a scarier answer to me than we don't know what it is, and it could be something completely shocking. That makes more sense to me because or is less, still scary, but less scary. So I don't know. I'm listening to that interview. I don't know. What do you guys think? When you hear that and I don't necessarily, what I will say when listening to that, I don't necessarily say that, oh, this is somebody who's covering it up. This is somebody who doesn't want to let you know the truth. I don't necessarily think that, not to say that that's not the case. This could also, when you talk to people when you bring this topic up in general, and you say, well, what do you think those things are? Most people will say balloons, drones. Could be that type of person. There's no way. Your brain does not want to go that it is anything except balloons, drones. There's no way, no possibility. People are too, caught up in the science fiction of hoping and praying that we're not alone, and they're coming up with that angle. And I ain't going down that road. I ain't going down the Bigfoot road. I'm not doing it. So it's a drone. It's also possible that that's what it is. It's also possible that like, hey, do not say anything except it's a drone. I don't know enough about it. But those are my thoughts on it. What do you guys think? You hear these thoughts, and I know, and from what I hear, and this is what I encourage on this channel, and I think you guys have been getting that. I've been seeing it in the comments. Not everybody needs to agree with one another. I think everybody needs to talk to each other respectfully. I think everybody needs to ask questions. And I don't think that if someone comes in here and goes, hey, well, listen, I'm listening to this guy, and I think he's making a good point about the drones, and here's why. I love that. If you have a good point for that, I don't necessarily know if I'm going to agree with you. Maybe you change my mind, and I go, hey, could be. Because there is a scenario, like anything else, that something reported in the amount of UFO sightings that there are, that sometimes people see drones and report them as UFOs. I 100% believe that. There's just times and certain footage that we've seen that there's no way that's a drone. I don't know what it is. And I've also said it in previous videos. I am very much convinced our government, other governments have technology that they have perfected and have been using for years that they don't want out there, that I believe might also have been things that have been cited. Now, the question is, where did they get the technology to build such technology? So there's a lot. And the stuff that Avi Loeb just talked about with the and the other stuff with the anti-gravity, it seems like this crazy puzzle that comes together for a second, and then it goes away, and then it comes back together, then it quiets up, and then I saw somebody yesterday going, oh, this topic nobody's talking about anymore. I say, you're out of your mind that nobody's talking about it anymore. People are talking about it anymore. People are getting frustrated where they ain't getting the answers that we want. There's no doubt about that. People are talking about it. And because it is, no matter what, there's something going on, and we should at least get one kind of answer of what the hell it is. It's a drone. Fine. Confirm it. Tell me it's a drone. We'll do the drone show. Down to earth with drones. Fine. But tell me it's a drone. Let's hear you guys. What do you think? Go ahead and put your comments in there. Thanks again for being here each and every Monday through Friday. I appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and you didn't know. We do an hour podcast video on my other channel, which is just my name, Christian Harloff. It's every Tuesday. I also do pop culture stuff, movies and reviews and things over there too. So give us a subscribe over there. But the link for that playlist for the UAP Tuesdays, the long form, that's in the description. You can find that on the podcast feed, which you can find all these videos on the podcast feed, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Just go to Down to Earth. Leave us a rate. Leave us a review. Helps us out. All right. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you on the flip side.